Hello, this is Dr. Roberta Shaler, the Relationship Help Doctor, back again with you. And today I want to talk about what happens if you're raised by a toxic, difficult person. What are some of the things that you might look at within yourself and the way your life is going, the way your relationships are going, the way you feel about yourself, the way you expand or contract in the world that might have its basis in being raised by a difficult, toxic parent? Somewhere deep down inside yourself, you know you're not quite fine. You might say you are, but you know you're not. And maybe you can't even put your finger on how you know you're not. So I just wanted to offer some things today that might help you understand that deep down in there are some beliefs. I'm going to talk about 5 of them that you might just examine and see if they're true for you. Maybe give you a little insight that would help. Because it'll help you understand what a horrible gift your hijackal parent gave you. And you know, hijackals are those people who hijack relationships for their own purposes, and then they scavenge them for power, status, and control. And a lot of parents fall into that category. So these might be good for you to work through and replace, because they're mistaken beliefs about yourself. They were about the hijackal, not about you. And you know, your brain grows until you're in your mid-20s. It's true. But by then, you're on a path, and you may not even take time to examine what has happened to you. You think it's just what I do, it's just where I'm going and with whom, and you don't really recognize the impact of all that happened from the time your brain started developing. And that's huge, particularly what happened to us in the first 2-3 years of life. So think about this. What was going on in your house before you even had language? Who was there? Were they happy you were? Were they annoyed by your presence? You were there, a baby, experiencing life by putting everything in your mouth, exploring everything you could touch, and trying to make those giants whom you needed to keep you alive interested and happy. You smiled and you laughed and you made encouraging noises trying to attract them. That didn't work. So you cried and they responded. But how did they respond? Were they loving? Did they come in time? Were they happy? Were they warm? Were they concerned about you? Or did they give you a feeling that you were a nuisance, you were wasting their time, that you should not take up space? And that all makes a big difference in how you feel about yourself now. Of course, if you've already recognized the need to get help and change this, you're recognizing all this with a big sigh of relief, and good for you. But if it's unrecognized, it can ruin your life and ruin your relationships and keep you feeling inadequate and definitely undermine and sabotage your success. So I just want to talk about 5 deep, dark, underlying truths that you need to look at. They're awful gifts you unwittingly and definitely unwillingly received from a difficult parent, a hijackal parent, or a primary caretaker. So one of those is that deep, deep down, you may not even want to admit that you don't believe anybody can really love you. Even when they say they do and they cross rings of fire for you, you're still a little suspect. That's because a hijackal parent left you feeling unlovable, never good enough, and somewhat broken down. And oh yeah, you may have a tough exterior that makes other people think that you walk on water, but inside, deep down, you know that no one will ever really love you. So it keeps you from ever having the emotional intimacy that you so long for. You really want it. So another deep, dark truth. You don't really trust anyone. You want to, you really do, and so you seem to. But there's always this nagging question in the back of your mind. Am I making a mistake? Am I wrong? Even though they seem to be telling me the truth and their behavior seems to follow, oh, I'm not so sure. So you'll also enter into a relationship and want to trust with all your heart. And you do, until the very first moment that there's a glimmer of a question, where is she or he? Did she or he lie to me? Has he or she always lied to me? Am I a fool? I always knew she or he couldn't be trusted. Those things run through your head, right? You don't want to be wrong. You want to be wise. So you're always wary, and that makes it very difficult to actually trust someone. So another deep, dark truth is you may have trouble with intimacy, real intimacy, the kind that makes you feel close and relaxed and cherished and known and appreciated and loved and accepted. And it goes along with your inability and unwillingness to trust another person fully. It's your kind of vigilant wariness. And children of a hijackal parent learn early on that they have to be vigilant, maybe even hypervigilant. That's because the hijackal parent seems unpredictable. Are you going to get the smiling one who thought you walked on water? Or today are you going to get the harsh one who thinks you're a nuisance? And you learned that it depended on the hour, so you became very good at people-pleasing. And over the years, you turned yourself into both a pretzel and a doormat. In fact, you may still be doing that in your current relationships. Because when you have a hijackal parent, you're trained to do that in order to survive. Intimacy requires the ability to trust, and that's hard for you. So another deep, dark truth. You seldom feel safe in the world with other people, even with yourself. And obviously this goes along with the lack of trust, but it extends to your whole world. If you were like me, you were abused at home, and that happened in the night, all in secret, and it produced opposing feelings simultaneously. You're scared and you think the person is supposed to love you. How can you be safe? You tend to live with one eye scanning the world for predators while the other is trying to enjoy the person or the world in front of you. And these feelings can be deep, deep down underground. You may not even realize that they're still down there running the programs of your life. And that's why you need to love yourself enough to get some good help from someone like myself who understands this stuff. I have clients all over the world through the magic of video conferencing. And these feelings, they can keep you from ever experiencing real love. Even the honest, real love and affection from your friends. That's a shame. So the last one I want to talk to you about is this deep, dark truth that may be impacting your life is you're starved for approval. Approval that you can really believe and accept. Because a hijackal parent is in competition with you. And because that's true, that parent will withhold approval from you. Yes, they sometimes give it, but they manage to take it away immediately. Sounds like, you did a great job with that. I wish you could do that with everything, but I know that's hoping too much. Does that sound familiar? So withholding approval is a hijackal tactic. And if the parent approved of you, you'd have an edge. It would somehow make you an equal with the parent, and no hijackal parent wants that. My mother used to say that she couldn't say anything good about me or I would get a swelled head. What a perfect hijackal parent remark. She justified her unwillingness to approve of me immediately. Oh, and her friends bought it too. So you're constantly invalidated by a hijackal parent. Often the other parent is silent or agrees to keep the peace. Now you got a double whammy. That makes it very difficult for you to ever believe a compliment deep down, or to ever believe that wonderful, loving, healthy, approving person, free of hijackal games, actually loves you. So many of my clients have confessed that they actually looked for somewhat nasty people, there whom they believed they deserved, and it's not true. So I hope what we're saying today, I hope it makes some sense to help you make sense of those deep down feelings, because those deep down feelings are the ones that are undermining your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-concept, and those will also be the same feelings that will damage your relationships. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with other people. It will take from you exactly what you want, that loving, cherishing, trustworthy, intimate, honest, safe, respectful relationship. Now, a hijackal did that to you, so it's not your fault. And it's not true about you. So learn how to replace these underlying beliefs. They're sabotaging you and your relationships. So I hope this helps you, because you need to do the work to be free to live an authentic, empowered life now. What a hijackal told you is none of your business. Talk soon.